What's up, everybody? Sergeant Argue right here, and today we react to the second part of this six-part series. It says 7 right there, but one of the videos is about all of the parts combined, and we're not going to be doing that, of course. Yeah, we're going to be reacting to 1915, a very interesting year. The same year that Bulgaria joined the Central Powers and Italy joined the Entente. And the same year that Germany turned the tide on the Eastern Front. And also, recently I have actually got a good amount of subscribers. So for all of you who are new to this channel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But don't watch my older videos, they're not very good. But anyways, let's just get started.
January 1915. World War I is just 5 months old, and already around 1 million soldiers have fallen. The war that began in the Balkans has engulfed much of the world. The Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire.
Oh gosh, these maps are not very good. Recently, Serbia, wow, okay, I was informed in the comments that this is actually one of their older videos. Made about 4 years ago. So they said that's probably why it's not very good. By the way, look at where my mouse is. What the heck is that right there? Anyways, let's just continue.
Fight the Allies.
Why do so many people call them the Allies? Like, is that what they called themselves? Because I thought they were called the Entente. I don't know, I hear the Allies being thrown around a lot.
France,
like, where does that come
Russia,
from?
Serbia.
Well, actually, that's not the Russian flag at the time. It's like, I think it's white, yellow, and black, if I'm not mistaken. That's the Imperial Russian flag. And you could say that, oh, they're just using the modern Russian flag, who cares? But, look, they're using the German flag from that time period, the Austro-Hungarian flag from that time period, Ottoman flag from that time period, etc.
Montenegro, Belgium, and Japan. In Poland and the Baltic, the Russian army had suffered a string of massive defeats, but continues to battle German and Austro-Hungarian forces. Austro-Hungarian troops have also suffered huge losses and are humiliated by their failure to defeat Serbia.
Yeah, I said this in the last episode, but it's so hilarious how Austria-Hungary used most of their army to attack Serbia. It doesn't really show it in this map well, but they used most of their army to attack Serbia. And they made almost no progress, despite outnumbering the Serbs. I think. And also, there's a huge mistake on this map. Germany invaded Luxembourg as well, along with Belgium. But Luxembourg, right there, where my mouse is shown as to be a neutral country, for some reason.
In the Caucasus Mountains, Russian and Ottoman forces fight each other in freezing winter conditions. While on the Western Front, French, British, and Belgian troops are dug in facing the Germans, in trenches stretching from the English Channel to Switzerland.
So interesting how Germany is like fighting 3 countries on this side, and then fighting Russia on this side. I mean, of course, they have Austria-Hungary's help, but it's so fascinating, like, how much punishment they're able to take. And they're, like, blockaded from food. It just amazes me how, like, I don't know, powerful they are at this time period. It's just, wow.
As part of the world's first strategic bombing campaign,
Oh yeah, Zeppelins.
Germany sends 2 giant airships known as Zeppelins to bomb Britain. They hit the ports of King's Lynn and Great Yarmouth, damaging houses and killing 4 civilians.
Yeah. I don't really get the point of this campaign. Because I don't really see how they can do too much damage to military. And if you're gonna do it against civilians, like, you're just not doing anything. You're just turning the public opinion against you. And peace in general. I just don't understand the point of this campaign. Like, was it to lower morale? Or something? I don't know.
At sea, at the Battle of Dogger Bank, the British Navy sinks one German cruiser.
Come on,
but
Germany.
the rest of the German squadron escapes.
You lost 2 battles.
Command of the sea
Wow, that's a lot of people. Wow.
has allowed Britain to impose a naval blockade of Germany, preventing vital supplies, including food, from reaching the country by sea. Germany now retaliates with its own blockade. It declares the waters around the British Isles to be a war zone, where its U-boats will attack Allied merchant ships without warning. Britain relies on imported food to feed its population. Germany plans to starve her into surrender.
Yeah, and the fact that Eclipse, why are you behind? And the fact that Britain's strength relies on its huge empire. And, it's cut off from its huge empire. So, it's like just this huge hindrance.
On the Eastern Front, German Field Marshal von Hindenburg launches a winter offensive and inflicts another massive defeat on the Russian army at the Second Battle of Masurian Lakes. The Russians lose up to 200,000 men, half of them surrendering amid freezing winter conditions. The Russians have more success against Austria-Hungary.
Oh, yeah.
The city of Przemysl falls after a 4-month siege, netting the Russians 100,000 prisoners.
Oops.
Austria-Hungary's total losses now reach 2 million. Meanwhile,
Wow. And I compare this to their populations. I think there's maybe somewhere like 60 million or 80 million people in Austria-Hungary. Hi, Eclipse. I guess he's gonna react with me today. And 2 million out of I don't know, 60 million. That's a lot of people if you think about it, and that's just in the beginning.
Well, the British and French send warships to the Dardanelles to threaten Constantinople, capital of the Turkish Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, I don't know, I keep pausing it, but okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure the Ottoman Empire had the island of Lesbos, and that island right there, I don't know what it's called. And another thing, it's kind of interesting how there's all these memes about, Istanbul and Constantinople, and we're mad at the Ottomans for changing it. But the truth is, they never changed the name. And it was only until, I think the Young Turks went into power and, took over the government and reformed a bunch of stuff, when it was renamed, or it was named to Istanbul, and the capital's moved to Ankara, I think. That's what it's called.
They believe a show of force will quickly cause Turkey to surrender. They bombard Turkish shore forts in the narrow straits, but 3 battleships are sunk by mines.
Wow.
3 more damaged. The attack is called off.
And battleships, they take a long time to make, and 3 of them being destroyed is a lot. Yeah, not very good for them.
On the Western Front, the British attack at Neuve-Chapelle. But the advance is soon halted by German barbed wire and machine guns. British and Indian units suffer 11,000 casualties, about a quarter of the attacking force. 6 weeks later, at the Second Battle of Ypres, the Germans attack with poison gas for the first time on the Western Front. A cloud of lethal chlorine forces Allied troops to abandon their trenches. But the Germans don't have enough reserves ready to exploit the advantage. Soldiers on both sides are quickly supplied with crude gas masks as a chemical weapons arms race begins.
Stop! It wasn't Germany. Okay, I don't think it specifically said that Germany was the first one to use it. It could have been interpreted as that's the first time Germany used it. What so many people don't understand is that France was the one who actually started using it. It started using gas, and it was tear gas. Obviously not as bad as chlorine gas. You know, Germany was like, oh, you're gonna break the rules of using poison gas? We're gonna break the rules of using poison gas. And just because we can, we're gonna use a more powerful gas to teach you a lesson. And then that sort of, made this gas arms race, I guess. But yeah, it's just so annoying. How there's all these, like, dumb memes about how Germany broke the rules and used the gas.
The Allies land ground troops at Gallipoli, including men of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, the Anzacs. Their goal is to take out the shore forts that are preventing Allied warships reaching Constantinople. But they immediately meet fierce Turkish resistance and are pinned down close to the shore. The day before the landings, the Ottoman Empire begins the systematic deportation and murder of ethnic Armenians living within its borders.
And this whole thing started in the, because of the attack in the Caucasus Mountains. I think they blamed the Armenians.
The Armenians are a long persecuted ethnic and religious minority, suspected of supporting Turkey's enemies. Tens of thousands of men, women, and children are transported to the Syrian desert and left to die. In all, more than 1 million Armenians perish. The Allies condemn the events as a crime against humanity and civilization and promise to hold the perpetrators criminally responsible. To this day, the Turkish government disputes the death toll and that these events constituted a genocide.
That is a bit ridiculous, to be honest. But I mean, come on, why would you send them to the Syrian desert with, like, little to no supplies? Like, that's stupid. And I'm not even doing anything. I wasn't touching you. Why did you attack me? What the heck? You, like, attacked me and then just jumped away. But yeah, anyways, let's continue.
On the Eastern Front, a joint German-Austro-Hungarian offensive in Galicia breaks through Russian defenses, recapturing Przemysl and taking 100,000 prisoners.
Dang.
It is the beginning of a steady advance against Russian forces. At sea,
I'm kind of baffled why Romania didn't join the Central Powers. I don't know everything about Romania and, World War I and how they relate together. But I do know the reason for joining the Entente. The reason for Romania joining the Entente and fighting against Austria-Hungary was because, first of all, there was a lot of ethnic Romanians in Austria-Hungary, and two, the Russians just did like a massive offensive, and took a little bit of land. But look, same reasons could be used against Russia to even more of a degree. In this area, Moldova or Bessarabia, whatever you want to call it, has a ton of ethnic Romanians too. And Germany and Austria-Hungary were taking way more land than Russia was. Like, Russia was obviously losing. And Romania just immediately got like half of their country invaded in like the span of a month or so. So it still didn't work out.
The British passenger liner Lusitania, sailing from New York to Liverpool, is torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland without warning. 1,198 passengers and crew perish. 1,000 boat off the coast of from New York to Liverpool is torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland without warning. 1,198 passengers and crew perish.
Okay. So I'm with Lusitania, right? Lusitania had actually had a bunch of weapons and munitions on it, to be fair. Come on. You know that the Germans are doing unrestricted submarine warfare. So, it's just disgusting to use human shields to carry your weapons to Great Britain. Like, come on.
Including 128 Americans. US President Woodrow Wilson and the American public are outraged.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but also what's interesting is that a lot of the United States' population, even now, like I think 17% of America is German, or has a lot of German heritage. And even like back then, this was to even a more degree. America, the largest ethnic group at the time, was German. I think it still is actually, unless it's Mexican now. But I don't know. But yeah, back then, the German ethnic group was very, very, very prominent, and the German language is used like regularly throughout like states with a lot of Germans in them. So the fact, so at first, America was actually. What did I do? Oh no! Oh no! What did I do? Anyways, America actually favored Germany at first. But it was only after these events happened where where America started to not like the Central Powers.
Germany insists the liner was a fair target, as the British used her to carry military supplies. In May, the Allies launched the Second Battle of Artois in another effort to break through the German lines. The French make the main attack at Vimy Ridge, while the British launch supporting attacks at Aubert Ridge and Festubert. The Allies sustain 130,000 casualties and advance just a few thousand yards.
What?
That summer, above the Western Front, the Fokker Eindecker helps Germany win control of the air. It's one of the first aircraft with a machine gun able to fire forward through its propeller, thanks to a new invention known as interrupter gear. Allied aircraft losses mount rapidly in what becomes known as the Fokker Scourge. Italy, swayed by British and French promises of territorial gains at Austria-Hungary's expense, joins the Allies.
Yeah, and the fact that Italy and the Entente were trading partners, and they didn't want to be blockaded.
Declaring war on Austria-Hungary and later the Ottoman Empire and Germany. The Italian army makes its first assault against Austro-Hungarian positions along the Isonzo River, but is repulsed with heavy losses.
Yeah, really, this is a really bad idea for Italy. You know, there's rivers and there's mountains that they have to cross. Yeah, it's not a very good idea.
Meanwhile, the Allies face a crisis on the Eastern Front. The Russians have begun a general retreat, abandoning Poland. German troops enter Warsaw on the 5th of August.
Nice.
Tsar Nicholas II
5th of August.
dismisses the Russian army's commander-in-chief, Grand Duke Nicholas, and takes personal command.
Wow, this is a huge mistake, because now all of the mistakes of the war can be blamed on him, the leader.
It will prove disastrous for the Tsar, as he becomes more and more closely tied to Russian military defeat. At Gallipoli, the Allies land reinforcements at Suvla Bay, but neither they nor a series of fresh attacks by the Anzacs can break the deadlock. Conditions for both sides are terrible. Troops are tormented not only by the enemy, but by heat, flies, and sickness.
That's not good.
In the
Wait, flies?
Atlantic, a German U-boat sinks the liner SS Arabic. 44 are lost, including 3 Americans. In response to further
great.
US warnings, Germany ends all attacks on passenger ships. On the Western Front, the Allies mount their biggest offensive of the war so far, designed to smash through the front and take pressure off their beleaguered Russian ally.
Okay.
The French attack in the Third Battle of Artois and Second Battle of Champagne. The British, with the help of poison gas, attack at Loos. Despite initial gains, the attacks soon get bogged down, with enormous losses on all sides.
Wow, that is a lot. Like in total, that's like almost 400,000 troops, or more than 400,000 troops. Yeah, that's a lot. Wow.
Allied troops land at Salonika in Greece to open a new front against the Central Powers and bring aid to Serbia. But the Allies are too late. Bulgaria joins the Central Powers.
Oh yeah.
And their joint offensive overruns Serbia in 2 months.
What about Montenegro? What are you gonna do about them?
That winter, the remnants of the Serbian army escape through the Albanian mountains.
Yeah, I'm confused about the whole Albanian thing. Like, did Albania let them escape, or what? What happened there? I don't know.
Their losses are horrific. By the end of the war, a third of Serbia's army has been killed, the highest proportion of any nation.
Wow. Third. That is crazy.
Fierce fighting continues on the Italian front, as Italian troops launch the third and fourth battles of the Isonzo. Austro-Hungarian forces, though outnumbered, are dug in on the high ground and impossible to dislodge. In the Middle East, a British advance on Baghdad is blocked by Turkish forces at the Battle of Ctesiphon.
Okay, it doesn't show this, but Britain actually owned... The reason why they could do this attack was Britain owned, like, a little area here where my mouse is, which is, right now, the country of Kuwait. But yeah, Britain had a colony there. And, again, it doesn't show this, but Britain had Cyprus as a colony too, which is really close to the Ottomans, which is good for them. But even though it shows that the Ottomans have it, which is weird. But anyways.
25 miles south of the city. The British withdraw to Kut, where they are besieged. The Allies abandon the Gallipoli campaign. 83,000 troops are secretly evacuated without alerting Turkish forces. Not a man is lost.
Nice.
It's one of the best executed plans of the war. The campaign has cost both sides 250,000 casualties.
Wow. Just the scale of these battles is horrific.
1915
Seriously.
is a bad year for the Allies. Enormous loss.
Arguably, I guess, but But then again, they have Italy on their side now.
For no tangible gains. But there is no talk of peace.
And Germany limited their submarine warfare, so there's a decent amount of good news.
Instead, all sides prepare for even bigger offensives in 1916, with new tactics developed from earlier failures. All sides still believe a decisive battlefield victory is within grasp.
Wow, okay, that was it. Thank you all for watching. That was a great video. Yeah, 1915. If you want to see any other videos, just comment what you want to see. Probably not for a while, because of course I have to get the series done, but yeah. After I'm done, definitely be sure to comment down below. And also, if you enjoyed this, I know this is really cliche, but whenever you say in your videos for people to like and subscribe, it actually does, get them to like and subscribe more. So, I'm not just doing it to be annoying, it actually has benefits. It's science. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Sorry for my bad outros. I'll try to work on that. Anyways, goodbye.